passing the baton. Why do most of the business, wealth, or legacy not passed on to next generation? 1. The psychological shift across generations. To understand why wealth vanishes, it helps to look at how each generation's relationship with money fundamentally changes. The first generation, called as the creators. They are driven by necessity, grit, and a first-hand knowledge of what it means to have nothing. They work grueling hours, take massive risks, and develop a deep emotional and practical understanding of every dollar earned. The second generation, called as the transitioners. They grow up witnessing the hard work of their parents. While they usually receive a good education and understand the concept of work, they enjoy a significantly higher standard of living. They are often risk-averse, focusing on maintaining rather than building. The third generation, called as the consumers. Born into absolute comfort, they often have no emotional connection to the struggles that created the wealth. For them, money is an assumed baseline, not a reward for labor. Without the psychological muscle memory of saving or building, wealth is easily squandered. 2. Lack of communication and trust. The single biggest operational reason wealth fails to transition is poor communication. The taboo of money. Many founders avoid discussing the exact scale of their wealth or business mechanics with their children, fearing it will make them lazy or entitled. Unprepared heirs. Because money is treated as a secret, heirs are suddenly handed massive financial responsibilities upon a parent's passing without ever being trained to handle them. They lack financial literacy, emotional maturity, and the decision-making skills required to manage a legacy. 3. The asset dilution math. Simple mathematics plays a massive role in the evaporation of a legacy. When a founder builds a successful business, it supports one core household. If that founder has 2 children, the wealth must now support 2 households. By the third generation, those 2 children may have their own families, splitting the original pool of wealth into 4 or more households. Without exponential growth of the original asset base, the wealth simply dilutes to the point where it can no longer sustain the extended family's lifestyle. 4. Failure to innovate. For family businesses, the downfall is often a rigid adherence to the past. My father did it this way, so we will too. Markets change, technology evolves, and consumer behavior shifts. Founders are often highly adaptive entrepreneurs, but subsequent generations can become bureaucratic custodians. They get comfortable, fail to innovate, and get disrupted by newer, hungrier competitors who are willing to take risks the family business won't. 5. Inadequate legal and tax planning. Wealth and businesses require robust structures to survive transitions. A lack of proper estate planning often leads to crippling taxes. In many jurisdictions, estate taxes, inheritance taxes, or poorly structured asset transfers can wipe out a massive percentage of a fortune overnight. Legal battles. Without clear, legally binding wills, trusts, or clear-cut succession plans for a business, family members often end up in bitter court battles. The legal fees drain the wealth, and the infighting destroys the business operations. Author's view. It is a remarkably consistent phenomenon worldwide that family wealth and businesses rarely survive the test of time. The famous adage, rags to rags in 3 generations, also famously known as 3-generation rule. Roughly 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the 2nd generation, and a staggering 90% lose it by the 3rd. Need to keep in mind we are running a marathon relay. I call it as miss to pass the baton at the right time.